in the name of the souls of our martyrs.
Ben gelmedim dava için. Benim işim sevgi için. Dostun evi gönüllerdir. Gönüller yapmaya geldim. Yunus Emre aşık olmuş. Maşukun derdinden ölmüş. Gerçek erin kapısında. Halim arz etmeye geldim. Sevgili Yunus dostları, kıymetli misafirler.
Dear guests and people who love Yunus Emre, and ladies and gentlemen, I greet all of you with my most heartfelt sentiments, with great love and respect. Welcome to the presidential complex, which is the home of the nation, and it's a veteran place. In the 700th anniversary of his passing, we are gathered here to commemorate, in God's grace and in great gratitude, our poet Yunus Emre. May God host him in his heaven. The year 2021 is significant in terms of our history and our culture. It is a year that hosted many anniversaries within itself. This year was also the 100th anniversary of our national anthem. It was also an anniversary of the passing of Hacı Bektaşi Veli. It was the 750th anniversary. Again, the year 2021 is the 700th anniversary of the passing of poet Yunus Emre. For us, this is an important year, a significant occasion, and we wanted to celebrate this year in a way that suits its deep meaning. And for this purpose, we spent the year 2021 by commemorating our national anthem, Yunus Emre and Hacı Bektaşi Veli. We declared it the year of these three. As you know, the year 1991 was declared as Yunus Emre, a Year of Love, by UNESCO. And Yunus Emre held opinions based on love, and it was turned into mottos of love all over the world. And this time, on the 700th anniversary of his passing, declared the year 2021 a year of Yunus Emre, dedicated the year to him. And for their support, we would like to we'd like to thank Azerbaijan, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Northern Macedonia, their representatives in UNESCO, for their contribution to this declaration. We hope that the year of Yunus Emre commemoration will be auspicious for all humanity and for our nation. In line with the Yunus Emre and Turkish year, we have initiated two themes called Our Yunus and Global Language Turkish. We are going to be organizing a series of events at the presidential complex. We will be commemorating Yunus Emre with these events, and hopefully we will be carrying his messages to whole humanity. Yunus, Rumi, Hacı Bektaş, Pir Sultan, and all other important figures who have brought love and brotherhood to our geography of 700,000 square kilometers, and hopefully we're going to bring them into people's hearts. The year 1071 was the year of the Manzikert victory, and after that year our ancestors started building libraries, fountains, bazaars, caravansarais and mosques and schools all over Anatolia, and this brought a new identity to Anatolia. In addition to all of these works, the Turkish and Islamic seal was put on this land mainly by the dergah, the dervish lodges. They have taken their teachings from Ahmet Yesevi, and they have migrated from Turkestan to Anatolia, and they have established dervish convents all over Anatolia. Hacı Bayram Veli, Aziz Mahmud Hüdayi, Şeyh Şaban Veli were many figures who loved God, and they were raised in these dervish lodges. They also taught love, compassion, and brotherhood, and they helped this climate to spread all over Anatolia. On the one hand, through veterans, our ancestors were able to conquer new cities, but they were also able to bring wisdom and knowledge and science, and they were able to win over hearts thanks to this. They had victories in both areas in this broad geography, and a major civilization which changed global history was initiated on this land. With many poets that were transferred from generation to generation, Yunus Emre gained his position in our hearts. He was raised in one of these dervish convents, and he was called Aşık Yunus. And learning from Hacı Bektaş Veli, the journey that he started brought to the dergah of Tapduk Emre. With the ethics, science, and love, he gave a lot to his followers, Tapduk Emre, and he saw Yunus Emre as a very mature person. Yunus learned from Tapduk Emre. He studied in his lodge for 40 years. He learned very slowly over 40 years. He learned submission, and he learned looking at life and all creation through the perspective of love. He was the builder of such a perspective. God is beautiful, and he loves everything that is beautiful. As this hadith tells us, Yunus represented all beauties that can be seen in Islam. He passed all of them through the filter of love, and he transferred it into his words in his poems.
Bir güneşe benzer. Aşkı olmayan gönül misali taşa benzer. Taş gönülde ne biter, dilinde ahu tüter. Nice yumuşak dese sözü savaşa benzer. Aşk olan gönül yanar, yumuşar muma döner. Taş gönüller kararmış, sarp katı kışa benzer. Geç Yunus endişeden, ne gerek bu pişeden, ere aşk gerek önden, andan dervişe benzer. Vefatının üzerinden
It has been 7 centuries since his departure, but still we remember and commemorate Yunus Emre. He is always fresh, eternally fresh, thanks to this love. It is thanks to love that Mecnun was able to cross the desert, and Ferhat was able to pierce the mountains. And it's with this love that the ney is able to make that beautiful sound. The same love brings Alparslan to Anatolia, or brings Selahattin Eyyubi to Jerusalem, or brings Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror to Istanbul. It's the same love that allows Rumi to write his poetry. It's the same love that allows Ibrahim Ethem to abandon his worldly positions and wealth. And it's the essence that makes humans what they are. It is the essence of love that they carry within. Yunus Emre wrote his poems and his sayings in the fire of love, and he was a flag bearer of the love civilization as well. He learned from Ahmet Yesevi and Hacı Bektaş. He is a bridge from
Anadolu'daki
those figures
700
to
yıllık
our
varlığımızı
land.
temsil eden
He represents
gönül
our existence in
bir garip
Anatolia for
derviş,
700 years.
bir
He
usta
is a
şair,
person of hearts.
bir büyük
He is a
mürşit,
folk poet
bir
and he is a
derin
great
mütefekkir.
lecturer and an important
Bütün
thinker.
davaların ötesinde
Beyond
beni
all
işin
causes,
sevi için diyebilen
he says
bütün
his
kinlerin,
work is love.
nefretlerin,
So he goes
ihtirasların
beyond
dışında
all hatred and
sevelim,
all enmity.
sevilelim diyen
He says we
işte
should
bir
love and
gönüldür.
be loved. He is a very high
72
spirit.
millete bir göz ile bakabilmeyi öneren
He suggests
İslami
that we
metnosu
look at all different nations with the
okumaktan
same
mana
perspective.
ne?
He is such a
Gerçek
conscious.
hakkı bilmektir.
He says the
Kim
reason why we
olduğunu
study is
bilmezsin.
to know ourselves,
Ha bir
because
böyle
otherwise we don't know
Yunus Emre
what we study means.
böylesine bir
Yunus
teslimiyet
Emre
gösterdi.
was a representative of such
Bir
a
ben
level
vardır
of
bende,
submission.
benden içeru diyen hakiki benlik
He
avcısı.
teaches us about the real
Mal
self.
sahibi,
He chases
mülk
the real
sahibi.
self.
Böyle de olsan ilk sahibine götüren derin bir
He teaches that even our worldly possessions go back to their original owner, which is God.
delik delik olmuş bir yürektir. Evet Yunus,
Yes,
bizim Yunus,
Yunus,
derviş
which is
Yunus,
our Yunus, or dervish
aşık
Yunus,
budur.
or poet Yunus. This
Kıymetli
is who
dostlar,
he is.
Yunus Emre
Yunus
aynı
Emre
zamanda
is
güzel
at the
Türk
same time
denizin de mimarıdır.
an important builder
O,
of our beautiful
Türkistan'da
language
Ahmet
as well.
Yesevi
He
ve
learned from Ahmet
dervişlerinin
Yesevi
hikmetleriyle
in
başlayan
Turkestan. He
çığırı
studied
Anadolu'da
the
davete
wisdom of
işlemiştir.
his dervishes and he
O,
further
Türkçenin
improved
aşk
that on
ve
Anatolia.
mana dili
He
olmasını
believed that
sağlamıştır.
Turkish was a
Onun
language
bize
of
bıraktığı
love
en büyük
and
miras,
meaning. The number one
her bir
heritage that he
dizesinin
left
kelime
for us
kelime,
was
her bir
his
kelimesinin
poetry,
hece hece,
every line of
her
which
bir
is very
hecesinin
meaningful,
harf harf
or every
saçaklanarak
letter, every
700
syllable
yıllık
is
tarihimizi
meaningful,
bizim
and they
kılan
branch out and
Türkiye.
they make our history ours.
Rahmetli Bahattin Karakoç'un dediği gibi
As the late
Türkçem
Bahattin
köküdür.
Karakoç says,
Türkçem renk, ışık. Sanki imbiklerden süzülüp gelir. Beyaz gül, mor sümbül, mavi sarmaşık. Gönül bahçemizden süzülüp gelir. Annem damağıma sağmış süt diye vakte nokta nokta kazılıp gelir. Dolamış diline babam kut diye her söz mısra mısra dizilip gelir. Bugünüm, yarınım, gündüzüm gecem hep aynı potada ezilip gelir. Devletim, bayrağım, ülkemdir Türkçem. Türkçem gök katında yazılıp gelir. Evet, Türkçe dilimiz,
yes, as I
kimliğimiz,
recited, our language, Turkish,
asırlara sari
is our
kültürümüzün
identity. Our culture
taşıyıcısıdır.
goes back many
Nihat Sami
centuries, and our
Banarlı'nın
language is the barrier
ifadesiyle
of the culture.
kelimeler
As Nihat Sami
asırlar
Banarlı
boyunca
says,
tek
words
tek
are carried
işlenmiş
over
söz
centuries. They
mücevherleri.
are like jewels which have
Türkçemiz,
been built one by
dertlilerin
one
iç
over many
sızısı,
centuries.
şairlerin
Our language
alın
allows
yazısıdır.
us to express
Öyle
our
diyor
most
Banarlı.
inner feelings, and it's the
Ketebe
fate of
yekti
poets.
Arap'ındır, kitap katip benimdir. Bazen kalbimize akan gözyaşımız,
Sometimes it is our
bazen
tears which go
içimizde
into our hearts,
yığınlanan
or
sabır
sometimes
taşımız.
it is our patience which
Çörek
gathers
otundan güneşe
inside
kadar
us.
düşüncemiz, fikrimiz,
Our ideas,
duygumuz,
our emotions,
anlayışımızdır.
our sentiments, and our
Türkçemiz,
understanding. Our Turkish
aşkımızın da,
is an expression
hasretimizin de,
of our love, our longing,
matemimizin de dili.
and our sorrow.
Bebeğimize ninni,
It is like
atalarımızdan
the
necize,
lullabies, or it is the
yiğitlenirken
sayings that we take
koçaklama,
over from our
ölürken
ancestors, or
ağıt.
it's the songs
El açtığımızda
that we
duamız,
sing. It is our
cenge
prayer when we
vardığımızda
open our hands,
destanımızdır.
or it's our legends when we go to
Selenge'den
war.
Yeni
From
Seyden
Selenge to
Ceyhun'a,
Tuna rivers,
Nil'den Dicle'ye
from the Nile
şiirimiz,
to the Tigris, our
şarkımız,
poetry, our songs, and our folk
Merhum
songs.
Ali Fuat Başkil Hoca
The late Ali Fuat Başgil says that our language is very noble in every word, and it carries the memories and meanings of many centuries. It is our national spirit which comes to us in the form of a language. A nation who loses its language loses its identity, its memory, and actually even its faith. Nations who lose their links with their mother tongue over time turn into herds, and they turn into colonies, and they may lose their identities. Both in the world history and in Turkish history, we see many examples of this. For instance, many of our kin in the continent of Europe, when they lost their connection to their language, they have changed, and they have become more Slavs. Or occupiers from Europe, when they colonize different places, they not only target people's beliefs but also their languages. Keep in mind, our homeland is protected by our army but also by our language. That's why we have to protect our languages. We should not only protect it ourselves, but we must also make our language a global language. In a geography of 12 square million kilometers, our language makes us one and united, and it is the fifth largest or fifth most widely spoken language in the world. In many countries, it's either the main language or the second most common language. You can communicate in Turkish in many countries. Even if the state or flag or country is different, hundreds of millions of people come around the same value of the language of Turkish. I have to express in great sorrow that today in our language we are losing some of our values. Unfortunately, the emphasis that we make on foreign language is sometimes causing desertification in our mother tongue. Sometimes in some universities our students don't know about Yunus or Fuzuli or Emrah or Reşat Nuri or Refik Halit or Peyami Safa or Tanpınar. They do not read those, and even they do not even hear about their names, and still they're able to get degrees. Still, our journalists or our academics, some of our intellectuals do not show the care needed for our mother tongue. Especially the language of social media has turned into a language of communication among the young people. Meaningless abbreviations or foreign borrowed words or improper sentence formations are turning into a daily reality. We see many foreign words on street signs or in our daily speech, and it's now at a level that threatens our future. For instance, walk down the Kızılay Street and many signs of shops are threatening our language. It's the same in Istanbul as well, and it's the same in many places. Our language is facing desertification, and the link between generations is being broken because of this rotting, and we have to stop this. Language is the means of communication, but it's also our most important asset. People can realize themselves to the level of words that they have. A person who speaks with 100 words is not the same as a person who thinks with 1,000 words. Compared to a person who only spends their life speaking 1,000 words, a person who spends their lives with 10,000 words can understand life 10 times better, or this person can contribute 10 times more to humanity. And with this understanding, we have to work in an understanding of a national movement, and we should teach the significance of words and language to the young people. We should teach them the words, concepts, and expressions which are carriers of hundreds of years of meaning. We must stand against the cultural imperialism, and the most important line of defense should be protecting our language. People who can speak their language in the best way possible can contribute to others. Otherwise, it's not possible. Without protecting Turkish, we cannot protect our national identity, or we cannot keep our links with the Turkic world strong, or we cannot reach our global targets. As long as our language continues losing power, our political borders and our shared culture and civilization can only remain as a simple line on maps. The most important investment that we can do towards our future would be to protect our beautiful language against the occupation of foreign words and to further enrich it. We all have, especially our families, our teachers, and our intellectuals, have work to do. Also, our organizations and NGOs which work on the Turkish language. Yunus Emre says language is the path to wisdom. We should find it where we lost it, we should find wisdom, and we should start our search from our language. We should say Turkish is a global language, and for this reason, on the 700th anniversary of Yunus Emre's departure, we have initiated a movement called Turkish the Global Language. Our Council of Culture and Art Policies has prepared 224 events within the year 2021. 18 different ministries, organizations, and NGOs will participate in these activities. All of these activities will receive any kind of support, I believe, that they need. And with such thoughts, as I conclude my remarks, once again, I congratulate the year 2021, the year of Turkish and Yunus Emre. May it be auspicious, and I greet all of you.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımıza değerli hitapları için şükranlarımızı arz ediyoruz.